The planned meeting today with President Xi at the G20 summit in Brazil is something, I suppose, given the news about Joe Biden's permission to fire missiles into Russia, if only into the Kursk region. This is a moment of optimism in an otherwise alarming world. The first face to face meeting with a UK Prime Minister and the Chinese president since Theresa May's visit in 2018, which was during the so-called golden era of UK-China relations. The evolution of these relations post-2018 has been marked by rising tensions over human rights issues, including the treatment of the Uyghur minority in provinces in China, the crackdowns in Hong Kong, the alleged espionage concerns, and the competition in trade. Starmer's objective to pursue sensible and pragmatic engagement is the right thing to do, highlighting China's economic significance as the world's second largest economy, the UK's fifth largest trading partner, and his approach to balancing economic cooperation with honest conversations on points of contention such as human rights and regional security. But essentially, China is too old, too important, too big to ignore. And we have ignored China for so long. China has so much to offer, of which we barely skim the surface. And this posturing as if we are competing. We are not competing. We are learning. And we need to recognize the significance of China on the world stage. And we need to appreciate the depth of Chinese history. You have to compare Starmer's position with that of his predecessors. While Rishi Sunak took a hardline stance, influenced by the Chinese hawks, Starmer aims for a nuanced engagement strategy that acknowledges economic and political reality. David Lammy's October visit and his efforts to revitalize dialogue with Beijing lay the groundwork for Starmer's more comprehensive approach today. And this meeting fits into the broader global trade concerns, especially with Donald Trump's proposed tariffs, which could shift international trade dynamics and impact UK-China economic ties. We need to also focus on our impact on climate and economic growth goals. We need to collaborate in those areas to strengthen our mutual interests and contribute towards international stability. We need to shore up global support for Ukraine in the face of Russia's prolonged aggression, emphasizing the symbolic and the strategic value that such a call during such a major summit could have at this particular time. There are potential areas of disagreement, such as China's ambiguous stance on the Ukraine war, such as military exercises in the Taiwan Strait, but they are small in comparison to the huge amount of positivity that can be projected that we can embrace. And there will be there is undoubtedly going to be criticism from some UK political circles, particularly from those who perceive this outreach as overly conciliatory or compromising national security concerns for economic gains. I think the economic gains are less important than the cultural opportunity. The scepticism of some conservatives about whether Labour's approach places economic considerations above human rights and security. We cannot influence human rights unless we are talking. And Rachel Reeves' upcoming visit to China for economic and financial discussions, that is part of this process of talking to create a pivot that positions UK-China economic policy in a positive light. So this balancing act between engagement and competition that Starmer is proposing, the success will be measured in his ability to secure investment and growth while maintaining a firm stance on core UK values and interests. But he needs to look at what can positively be achieved, what can he achieve, and that is about cultural integration, that is about learning, that is about a more proactive and positive stance towards China than we have had in the past. There is much that that we can do to progress, and as I said earlier, to learn. China has much to teach the world, and while we may feel that we have much to teach China, and we need to learn together. It is much better to be talking than to be posturing, and we know where posturing gets us because we can see what President Putin is doing. And even with Putin, even with Russia, we need to be planning how we are going to engage with Russia in a positive mood as soon as this nonsense with Putin's pugilism is over. Because we need to reset the clock if our world is to survive, if we are to make amends, reflect on what has gone wrong. We need to push forward. We need to talk.